Okay, we're going to end the show with a little bit about the Marlins. And I give you the caveat by saying this. It is not personal. I knew the entire time when selling the team to Derek Jeter that he was going to terminate me. I planned for it. I expected it. I was not just ready for it, but I wanted it. I knew there was no way I would ever work for Derek because I knew exactly from negotiating with him what kind of team owner and president he was going to be. I knew exactly the way Bruce Sherman would be as a control owner because, as I told you, Bruce Sherman didn't care about anything except getting Derek Jeter's cell phone number and letting his kids and grandkids watch games with Derek Jeter. That was all fine and dandy until the Marlins started losing money. And the reason they started losing money is that I'd said to Jeter, hey, you're going to be way better at this than I am. I stunk. I'm the worst president of all time. I couldn't even get naming rights. I couldn't get a TV deal. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get season ticket holders. But you're going to come in and you're going to do better. You're going to make money. This is Jeter's, hold on, I'm blanking. Fourth season, 18, 19, 20, 21. The Marlins made the playoffs last year in a shortened season. They've improved their farm system. I think when we had them, our farm was ranked number 37. Not bad. 37th ranked farm system in the country is not terrible. Now the Marlins are a top 5 farm system. The Marlins have a great manager, Don Mattingly, and they finished above 500 for the first time since 2009. So for the last 8 years of my career, we couldn't even win 81 games, and it took Jeter only 3 years to finish 500. However, what I'm not telling you is the number of years we were above 500 after 60 games or 70 games or 80 games or at one point in a random season, because I guarantee you we were, although I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to guarantee it, but someone is going to go back and take a look, and we were above 500 by 2 games at one point. But the season ended after 60 games. They get credit. Great. I'm in. Derek Jeter spent his first 3 years trying to rid himself of anything Samson related, anything that Jeffrey Loria had done, because he thought that would help explain why he paid so much for the franchise. If he didn't have to look at pictures of us, if he didn't have to look at anything that reminded him of us, if he didn't have to look at any employees who were there when we were there, if he could just eliminate us, then he would all of a sudden say that everything's okay now. He started by getting rid of the home run sculpture, which was an art in public places. Cover that on Nothing Personal. Very dangerous precedent. He then followed it up by getting rid of the pool in Marlins Park. Not sure why. And yesterday he followed it up by getting rid of the fish tanks behind the plate. Anything that we did, it's gone. I want to give you a little background into why we did what we did. Jeffrey Loria designed that ballpark to make it about Miami. The ballpark is in Miami. It's not in New York. He gave us a rule. He designed the stadium, the outside, and he said, here's the rule inside. When you're putting concession stands together, when you're looking at the color scheme, he came up with the color palette that is based on Miro's palette, a very famous Spanish painter. There's lots of reds and blues and yellows. We used those colors for wayfinding so people knew where they were in the ballpark. The sections were colored. It's unbelievable, actually. He thought that by getting rid of, so Jeffrey said to us, the rule is that when someone in the ballpark, a fan of the Marlins or a fan of an opposing team, when they close their eyes and play pin the tail on the donkey and they spin around in a 360-degree turn, wherever they land and they open their eyes, they need to think Miami. Not New York. Jeffrey's a New Yorker. I was an erstwhile New Yorker. Not Cincinnati, not Baltimore, not San Diego, Miami. The purpose of the ballpark, the purpose of the uniforms, the purpose of the brand and the colors of the uniforms and the multicolor of the M of the old Marlins brand before Jeter changed it. The purpose of the colors in the ballpark, the purpose of the pool of the Clevelander, which is now gone. How can you not like the Clevelander? Jeter could have gone in there and picked up people and then left them gift bags. The purpose of everything in that ballpark, Taste of Miami, the fish tanks, the bobblehead museum, everything was meant to say Miami. I knew Jeter was going to bring New York to Miami, but I didn't think it would be like this. Jeffrey Loria, was the owner of the team, was a big New Yorker, a big Yankee fan, liked Yankee players, but was very clear that he owned a team in Miami and that Marlins Park was for you, the community in Miami, and for all the people who visit and would go to the ballpark. What Jeter decided to do because of his hatred for me directly and his anger over paying Mr. Loria the price he paid for the team is to take away the best parts of the ballpark and make it so New York. I spent a lot of time thinking about how I felt about this. And I felt sad for the wrong reason. And I wanted to admit to you what that reason was. The reason, turns out, was personal and wasn't business related. The business is not going well. They're losing money. There's rumors about the team being for sale. They've had to raise extra money. Derek Jeter only has 2 years left in his contract. And then we'll see what happens. But it's highly unlikely that he will be asked to continue on in the same role because it's been such a failure financially and in theory on the field, although they did make the expanded playoffs in the shortened season last year. And I do root for the Marlins because I do want them to win a third World Series because it would just make our World Series that much cooler as being part of history. But my sadness was based on my incorrect and misguided view of legacy, where I wanted to be a part with Jeffrey of Marlins Park and of having Marlins Park there and of the amazingly original look to Marlins Park. The fish tanks were my idea. And I thought that in the systematic elimination of everything, of every way that I was related, not invited back for anything 2003 related. I never will be until Jeter sells the team. Well, he has no say over the sale. It'll be Bruce Sherman selling the team and the other owners, including some preferred holders, but doesn't matter. I was selfish in saying I wanted to be associated with some of the great things with the Marlins franchise history. I wanted to be associated with Marlins Park, and it went against my very principle. And my very principle, and the word that I say, is that my job was to plant seeds for trees that will grow and shade they will produce that I will never get to sit under. And it should have been good enough to me that Marlins Park is there and that baseball in Miami, however few people go now, however few people went when I was there, it should be good enough that there's a baseball team in Miami, and but for Jeffrey Loria and but for, in a very small way, the work that I did, there wouldn't be baseball in Miami. There wouldn't be memories like you heard on Twitter Spaces last night of a son having a catch with his father on the field on Father's Day. There wouldn't be the ability of families and people who are in business to go and have an experience or make a memory. And that should have been good enough. And I thought it was good enough until I read about the absence of the fish tanks, of them being removed. And I had a moment of selfishness that upon reflection during the course of the night, I realized was the wrong approach. Because at the end of the day, you can't control your legacy. You can try to do what's best on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis. You can try to shut out all selfish feelings. You can try to subjugate your ego as much as possible, but we're all just human. And as much as I say it's just business, even for me, once in a while, it's personal.